All right, the big news day continues. We're going to talk a little bit about Brock Purdy now in the context of this potential Deebo Samuel trade or cut. Again, he requested to be traded. Not surprising given how this past season went down. Turning point, I'd trace all the way back to week 2 when he got hurt, then a pneumonia happened. And it was very clear that the 49ers would have to do some salary cap housekeeping to make room for the Brock Purdy deal for years to come. And also to surround the team or surround Brock Purdy with receivers who fit his style. X type of receivers, F type of receivers. The type of Z receiver that Deebo Samuel is, the bulldozer, that fit better in the Jimmy Garoppolo era for the 49ers. We're on the chairlift here at China Peak. Lombardi herself enjoying her first skiing. She's faster than me. Her first skiing in over 2 years. I think some of the horse riding gets you ready for, I mean, your horse is really tall, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like riding an elephant. If an elephant were the pace of a cheetah.
So, Deebo Samuel in his prime was like an elephant that was the pace of a cheetah. It was really fast, bowled people over. I think that he still has some left in the tank, but the 49ers were dead last in average separation at the time of catch or incompletion last year. They've got to get more separators in there. And so you look at Davante Adams. By the way, the Jets are going to part ways in all likelihood with Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. We talked about Davante yesterday. He wants to go back to the West Coast. No Deebo Samuel means another roster spot, some more cap room, because the 49ers would save this option. The trigger date's on March 22nd, the $15.4 million option. So maybe they go into the more X type of mold. I think it was Danny G on Twitter. We always like to cite Danny G. He's such a thoughtful guy. It's like, how about Treylon Burks entering his last season with the Tennessee Titans? And coming out of Arkansas, he was viewed as a guy who was like a Deebo Samuel light, right? Would be able to bowl defenders over, also catch the football. Treylon, in a way, though, he's been a bust over the past few years. I don't think the 49ers are looking for a player-for-player replacement for Deebo Samuel. I think they're trying to make this receiving room more amenable and a better fit with the skill set that Brock Purdy brings to the table, and that is anticipatory thrower. Somebody who, we talked about how few screen passes Brock threw this past year. And, part of that was Kyle Shanahan not calling enough screens. Another part of it was Kyle Shanahan trying to cater to what Brock Purdy does best, and that is the timing over the middle, the accuracy downfield, inside and outside the numbers. And for that, you need more standard separators. So there's a reason why Davante Adams' name has come up. There's a reason why, we're talking about T. Higgins, who's going to be a free agent. Do the 49ers want to spend that much, though, to bring in this extra receiver? Or is this going to be the classic case of developing the guys you have on your roster since you already used the first-round draft pick last year on the receiver position? Listen, when they picked Ricky Pearsall, the idea was they'd keep Ayuk, Samuel, and Pearsall for an entire season while they could, stack the roster with those three guys, and then they'd decide where to go next in 2025. Since they gave Ayuk the money before 2025, they're tied to him for at least one more season. Margot here. Not the biggest fan of that maneuver, but it happened. You're tied to Ayuk, and he is a better match with Purdy if he is healthy and if he is in shape and ready to go. So you wait for him to come back. You drafted Pearsall to be in that X/F receiver mold. And you still have another year of Jawan Jennings, who really, really emerged last year. So he becomes a receiver that makes Deebo Samuel even less needed for the 49ers, even less necessary for the 49ers. So it's cap savings in the long run, so you can pay Brock Purdy more sustainably and pay the rest of the team more sustainably. And then it's about building the team appropriately around Brock Purdy. Deebo, obviously, we've talked about this so much, not the ideal fit in that regard for the 49ers. So that's how they're building things moving forward. Now, let me clarify something about the management of the salary cap situation. Done skiing at China Peak, highly recommend it. Now here at Huntington Lake, iconic lake, good sailing lake in the summer behind me. We're going to be moving our way to Lakeshore, a little town here, for the après ski scene. Some drinks before the Super Bowl. But anyway, when it comes to the salary cap, the question that I'm getting most is, how does this make sense for the 49ers? There's going to be a lot of dead money. That is showing a misunderstanding of dead money. Dead money is whatever you have already paid a player but hasn't yet hit the salary cap. By rule, every single dollar and cent that you pay a player has to eventually hit the salary cap. Teams will push some of that money into the future using the prorations, the signing bonus. It's stretched out the cap hit over 5 years. The 49ers do this a lot. They'll push the money into the future so that they can open up near-term room. The 49ers have restructured Deebo Samuel in that kind of way multiple times already. If and when he is cut or traded, the money that has not yet hit the cap but has already been paid out to Deebo Samuel must hit the 49ers books. It accelerates the proration, the accordion collapses, and it accelerates the hit the 49ers books in the near term. So dead money is money that you're going to have to pay at some point anyway to Deebo Samuel. The thing here is that unused salary cap space flows from season to season. It's all connected. So when that's the case, money that you save now is money that's saved for the future. Money that you spend now is money that's spent for the future. The 49ers have done a really good job of building a system in which they clear salary cap room before every season to make sure that they have a lot of money entering that year, just in case they run into having to make a maneuver like this one with Deebo Samuel. So yes, $31.5 million in dead money, but yes, the 49ers have a lot of salary cap room to be able to potentially absorb that dead money so they can save the money that would be saved by not paying that option bonus on March 22nd. So you have to understand that the cap space is connected from season to season. You can't just look at it as a 2025 situation. It's a 2025, 2026, 2027 situation. You've already paid that $31.5 million in dead money to Deebo Samuel. There's no getting out of that. What you don't want to do is pay Deebo Samuel $15.4 million on March 22nd with the option bonus and have yourself be underwater with that amount of money as well. So I hope that makes sense. Sunk cost fallacy doesn't work here. You got to be moving forward, thinking forward. Plus, if the 49ers are able to trade Deebo Samuel, draft picks have monetary value too, because that's how you build up a roster. So trading him before March 22nd, they wouldn't be responsible for the $15 million, and they'd potentially get that draft pick. Take a look at this. This is the Lakeshore Post Office. I've seen this thing buried in snow before, but Lakeshore, California, post office, cool little town. And then we turn around and the saloon is right behind me. Now, if the 49ers cannot trade Deebo Samuel, and this becomes a proposition of basically, $15.4 million plus the base salary at the minimum. So he's going to cost the new team about $17 million next year. Is that worth a 5th round pick? Is that worth a conditional 3rd round upgrade to the 5th round pick? I don't know. I know they're open to trading Deebo Samuel before, but if they're able to trade him, great. The 15.4 is off their books. If they have to cut him instead, dead money would also hit, but that's when you could use the post-June 1st designation. All that the post-June 1st designation does is it pushes the dead money hit back a year. 49ers have enough money to shoulder it this year if they want. They'd have more flexibility if they cut him. They'd still rather trade Deebo Samuel because trading him would mean you get that draft pick back. So the 49ers just operating based on what's most efficient for them at this current moment.